Everybody, it's Monica with Fit Eats Coaching, and today I'm back with 9 exercises to fix your dysfunctional core and glutes. I put these exercises together for my intern who is only 17 and is already having issues with back pain and hip pain and is finding that working out is really uncomfortable and at times painful. So she wrote up this whole article about this workout over on the blog, her experience training online with me. But here we're going to just go through all the exercises and some modifications that you can do with the help from my dog. Obviously, he's always in my videos, right? Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is a reverse lunge with a gliding platform. You can use one like this child's toy that we adapted for my gym. You can also use the rubber ones, the plastic ones. You can use cloth ones. Or you can use the super fancy Pilates ones that's featured over on our blog post. The main thing is to keep your weight in that front heel, keep your front knee aligned right over that heel, and then really focus on squeezing your abdominals in as you glide back for support. So we're trying to lengthen the hip flexor of the leg that's going back, and we're putting all the work into the glute of the leg that is supporting the exercise, which is the front leg. If it helps you, you can use a weight to counterbalance, and you can even add some upper body movement to make it a little bit more, metabolic, so you're burning more fat and calories, but that's not necessary. We're trying to fix glute dysfunction and core dysfunction with this exercise. Once you do 10 of those, you're going to move into the lateral version of this. So put the entire foot flat on your platform, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to lunge that leg out to the side. Notice how I'm keeping my knee over that heel, and I'm adding some arm movement to keep it a little bit more dynamic and fun. If you build enough core stability and glute stability and strength, you'll be able to combine your reverse lunge and your lateral lunge with planking movements to make it more dynamic and fat burning. As you can see here, this is a bigger movement, and this is something that you will progress to if you just stay consistent with these exercises. So next up we have the bridge with the glider. You're putting one heel on the glider, one heel on the floor. You're pushing up through the heels to come up as high as you can into that bridge. And then without allowing your hips to lower down, you're going to extend the leg that's on the glider. You want to bring it out as straight as you can, making sure not to let those hips dip down to the floor and keeping your core nice and tight. The main focus of this exercise is to coordinate the function of your glutes and core so that you're not relying on your hamstrings and your calves to do the work. This is what happens when you get cramps in your calves, you get cramps in your hamstrings. That means that you're really not engaging through the core, that you're not really using those butt muscles to do the exercise. So stay really focused on that. After you do 8 to 10 reps of that, you're going to move on to the Pilates ring tabletop, which is similar to a bridge, except now you're using more of the arms and upper back. So you're going to sit with that ring between the thighs, squeeze it as hard as you can, push through the heels, and you're going to lift those hips up to the ceiling so that your body forms a little tabletop. Now your fingertips can point forward or they can point out to the sides. The main thing with your back is to really squeeze the shoulder blades together so you're activating those upper back muscles. This exercise works the entire posterior chain, and it especially works your core. Tabletops are actually a really fun way to work the entire back side of your body while strengthening your core, and once you can make them more dynamic by adding some leg raises and some swinging, you will also be able to use them for burning more fat and calories in your workout. Alright, so next up we have standing hip extension and abduction, pushing a Pilates ring into the opposite hip. You're using your butt muscles to lift that straight leg behind you, and then you're going to use your butt muscles to lift it straight out to the side. Notice how I'm not hinging at the waist or at the hips. I'm trying to keep my shoulders level. It helps to have a hand out to the side, palm up. It also helps to raise one arm overhead, fingertips reaching for the sky, and especially important to pull that belly button towards the spine as you're doing this exercise so your back does not overarch. This is all about creating that stability in the core and the glutes so that you can do better squatting, better lunging, better deadlifting, and especially do all that stuff without any pain. Next up, we have the overhead band pull. Now you're going to stand on a TheraBand with one foot, and you're going to use your core and back muscles to pull that band overhead and then lower slowly out to the sides as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. If you don't focus on doing this with your core and back, you're going to feel it a lot in the shoulders, and you may even feel it in the neck. So it's important to stay really focused on what's going on with your deep abdominals. You can do this exercise with any type of band that you have, and you can add a partial squat to it if that helps you to pull the band up more efficiently. Once you get advanced, you can add curtsy lunges, balance, side kicks, all kinds of things. And this is when you know that your core and glutes are getting strong enough for you to be able to go back to squat jumps, lunge jumps, deadlifts, all that stuff that is currently not available to you because of pain and tightness. So another version of this exercise before we move on to the next one that I really love to teach is the kneeling version. The kneeling version isolates your core a little bit more. Obviously you can put a pad under your knees or something if that floor is a little bit too hard for you. But I really like this because it takes your legs out of the equation. It prevents you from cheating if you tend to throw your hips forward trying to get that band overhead. It's also really great if you have really short bands that you can't extend overhead because they're too tight. Okay, next we have the banded leg press with the opposite leg in various positions. It can be straight up, it can be out at an angle, it can be all the way hovering above the ground. The main thing is to use those deep abdominals to keep your back flat on the floor. The work of this exercise is all about using your core to stabilize leg movement. Now, if that's too tough, you can continue with band pulls and just heel drops. This is probably one of the easier versions of leg lowers, but there are many versions that you can do if even this version is too tough. So pick a leg lower that's, appropriate for your level of fitness. If that's something that you're not sure of, you can always ask me on the blog post that we put up today. And of course, once you begin to get really strong with leg lowers, you can start using other props like this ring that we're going to use for the final exercise of this core and glute strength workout. So push the ring into your knee, push the knee into the ring, and lift and lower your opposite leg. Still trying to maintain that back flat on the ground using those deep abdominals. Make sure not to hold your breath. And you're just doing one round of all these exercises back to back. Once you get stronger, you can work on maybe doing 2 rounds of this stuff, and that's all you need to really start strengthening the core, maybe 2 times a week. Anyways, I hope this video has been helpful. I will be back with more exercises and tips to help you get your fittest, strongest body. Thanks for stopping by.